From a man facing arson charges trying to justify his actions with excuses,
It had to do with medication, Your Honor.
Okay.
My medication got all messed up.
to another caught stealing after multiple convictions,
Did you understand you're charged with theft of property $2,500 with 2 or more convictions for purposes of enhancement? That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere.
these cases reveal the shameless audacity of offenders, where Judge Boyd ensures offenders are punished. Starting with Mr. Zachary's case. Here we have a man who intentionally set a house on fire, and it's outrageous how he justified his actions with bizarre claims, but then suddenly tries to deny his actions. Let's see how Judge Boyd handles this.
Another name. What I learned in elementary school was when 2 vowels go walking, the first one does the talking. No, in his name, the second one is talking. The first one is silent. So I'm going to remember it. Zachary Dyke.
Dyke.
Okay.
Dyke.
Court is
So I'm told.
okay. My grandmother would always say that. She would always say, you just know this is the date you're born on because that's what I'm telling you, really. You know, there's some things only your parent would know.
They told me you're from Louisiana.
Yes.
Is that right?
That's
Yes.
his
Where
friend,
at?
okay.
Where are you from?
My mom's from Arcadia.
Ah, okay. And I know you're telling the truth because you said it right. Court is calling 2023 CR 5173 State versus Zachary Albert Dyke. Could I have the parties announced for the record? State.
Megan Galloway for the state.
Lorraine Efron for Mr. Dyke.
Are you Mr. Dyke?
Zachary Albert Dyke.
All right.
Dyke.
Counsel, have you received all discovery?
Yes,
Did you review it with your client?
yes,
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Are there any applications?
no,
All right. Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
yes.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? All right. So the way it's listed in the indictment that I have, it's paragraph A, B, and C. So is there a different indictment? This is what I have.
So
Well, yeah, I don't think that,
that would be correct, Your Honor, because so we'll proceed on paragraphs A and B and waive paragraphs, but I will need to change that.
Okay. Well, does anyone have any objection to it being labeled as count 1, count 2, and count 3 in the indictment as opposed to A, B, and C?
No, not from the state.
no, Your Honor.
All right. So, State, are you moving to change paragraph A to count 1, paragraph B to count 2, and paragraph C to count 3?
Yes, Your Honor.
Any objection?
No,
All right, Mr. Dyke, what they're doing is they're just changing the label of each paragraph. Do you have any objection to that?
No. No, Your
They're
Honor.
not changing the substance of the indictment, just the way that it is numbered. All right. So, State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented? Which counts are you waiving? Any objection?
no, Your Honor.
Did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand? And count 1, you're charged with arson with intent to damage a habitation or place of worship.
Yes, Your
And
Honor.
in count 2, you're charged also with arson with intent to damage a habitat or place of worship.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. Do you understand those are first-degree felonies?
Yes, Your Honor.
And the range of punishment is anywhere from 5 to 99 years or life in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand by entering this plea you were giving up those rights?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes,
Do you believe he has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against him?
I accept the jury's verdict on that matter, Your Honor.
So you did have a jury trial?
Yes, we did.
All right.
But I do.
Mr. Dyke, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
No, Your Honor.
Anyone promise you anything other than the plea?
No, Your Honor.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Are you a U.S. citizen? Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived his right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
According to the plea, state is proceeding on count 1 and 2. They are asking that your punishment be assessed at 8 years in the prison in both counts. there's a $2,000 fine and there are no applications. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Defense, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
State, is that the plea?
It is, Your Honor.
Did you review the document? I'm sorry, did you review the paragraph entitled waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? I'm sorry.
Yes.
It's the waiver of appeal paragraph?
I believe so. Yes, Your Honor.
Well, let me show it to you.
Yes, it's no appeal.
Yes. All right. Did you understand that?
Yes.
All right. Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal?
Yes, Your Honor.
The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
Well, there was that competency jury trial, a few things like that, but
All right. Then to count one, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
Count two, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest?
No contest.
State any evidence.
State offer states exhibit number 1 in attachments.
no objection.
Did you review the document entitled waiver and consent to stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, Your Honor.
And did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, Your Honor.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you understand that today the state would be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. Well, I understand what you're saying with the disagreements with that.
Yes. And to that end, I actually made a notation in the paperwork because it generally says you believe your client was legally sane at the time. And we're not urging that defense, but I wouldn't want to be saying that I couldn't urge it under different circumstances. That makes sense.
All right. Well, I don't step behind jury's verdicts. They're saying he was sane.
It were competent at the time.
Well, they're saying he's competent at the time.
Competent now. Sanity would be a trial defense.
Yeah.
And we're not urging that trial defense.
All right.
Does that make sense?
Yes. But I see that there, in really reading this police report where he thought someone was God.
It had to do with medication, Your Honor.
Okay.
My medication got all messed up and I wasn't in my right state of mind at the time. I know that 100%. Like at that time, I was not in my right state of mind. And whenever I came into the jail, I wasn't in my right state of mind either because I've been in recovery for a long time and I was on maintenance meds, methadone, and I was detoxing off of those medications whenever I came in here. And I didn't have the right medications being in the thing, but I've been in here for 2 years now and I'm really level-headed now. But when I first came in here, I was not right.
There was an initial, well, let me put it this way. There was an initial finding of an agreed incompetent to stand trial.
Mhm.
Let me restate this. So the jury trial was on the issue of whether he had been restored to competency. And I contested that, much to my client's disagreement. And the jury did find that he had been restored and that he was now competent. And so that's what put us back on your trial docket today. So it was pending quite a while he was in restoration posture.
All right. So here's my question, and I don't want to go behind anybody's agreements that they've worked out. I normally don't do it, but I'm reading the police report.
I know.
And I know that sometimes that people are using drugs and that's not a defense. I use drugs and I got bad drugs. So therefore I'm hallucinating, but I see that there are issues where who knows, maybe the behavior wouldn't have been what it was. Because what I'm reading is he admits to it. And it says he stated that he set it up, that everything had been set up when Flores got pregnant. When asked who Flores was, he stated she was God and he was God and the baby in her named Jesus. And then he said, I lit it up and it went up. And he's like, I think it was the table.
And Your Honor,
And this has been an ongoing setup. And they've been telling me fire and water. When asked what he used to light the fire, he said a lighter. When asked what he was thinking after he lit the fire, that was the old me. It's gone. Then it was a new me. That's what they're telling me, that the old me and I have to leave it all behind. So what was set on fire was a table, a chair, and a bed. So what is his criminal history?
can I say one thing real quick?
Do you feel as though you're losing this argument?
No. I just
Then why
want to
you're
say,
adding?
I just want to
And
say
you,
that
you may
there's,
not want to add. I'm trying to figure out certain things here. Yes.
I'm trying to help.
Stop.
Yeah.
She didn't ask you.
But going to what
And mind you, I'm all for following agreements. I'm just trying to get to the bottom of, my determination is whether agreements are appropriate or not.
but I have taken into consideration the court's concerns as well, and that's something that we have conferred about alternatives, and we just wound up
Okay.
where we are. So regarding his criminal history, he does have, so like a misdemeanor estate, from 2007, UCW from 2017, a PG3 possession less than 28 grams from 2020, a resisting arrest, from 2020, a possession PG1 less than a gram from 2017. The offense that we're here for today, a possession PG1 1 to 4 from 2017, a 4 to 200 possession PG1 from 2018, a possession of marijuana 5 to 50 pounds from 2020, and then PG3/4 above 28 grams from 2017. And sorry, that was out of order.
No.
And I think most of those did not result in convictions. Many were dismissed or otherwise resolved. So I think what would actually, I mean, I know you're just reading about arrests or bookings, but I think in terms of like what is actually in terms of conviction or,
Nothing.
yeah.
So
I don't think he has any.
that would be correct. So he was only placed on deferred adjudication for a misdemeanor resisting.
All right.
He has almost 2 years credit pending incompetency restoration. So he's been in custody quite a while, which was another factor in our discussions today. As far as I can ascertain, I don't see that this becomes a 3G in any way.
Okay.
I can't represent when he would get paroled, but just that he would have what it appears to be normal parole eligibility.
All right. And
In his family, I mean, there was a lot of contact during the pendency of the competency proceedings with the DA's office and the family, and we had a pretty intense trial on the issue.
all right. So what is this with regards to the complainant listed is Dike as well? Who is that?
Mom.
His mom.
Uh-huh.
And is she aware of this?
Judge, so I didn't reach out to her today. During the competency,
She testified.
did reach out and I have correspondence from her where she's requesting treatment from the defendant. But like I said, that was explored in our negotiations.
She did testify. I think I think as you can imagine, many parents would be, highly conflicted here. This was serious. She bought this for him, whether it was hers or his by gift, might be a dispute, but nevertheless, it was her funds that paid for it and it's gone, destroyed to the ground. She's obviously loves her son, very concerned about him. And so I think she would be, she doesn't expect restitution. I think it was covered by insurance. I'm not sure.
There was no insurance claim on it, but it was
All right.
actually.
As I can say, this is what I'm saying. And I will follow your agreement. There's some times where I may think, this is very harsh. There may be some times where I think this is not harsh enough. And I'm just trying to discover, is this a prison case? Is it not a prison case? That's what I'm trying to get to the bottom to. Sometimes when people commit offenses, does it appear that you're losing this argument?
No, I just want to say
Okay.
a few things because you're saying that.
No, can you just wait? Because she's
Okay.
the judge and she's speaking.
I understand.
All
You
right.
don't mind.
Sorry.
So sometimes there are reasons maybe why people do things. And then sometimes you have somebody, they're just a bad apple. This is just what they're going to do. As the attorney was in here saying that raccoons and other animals just come in and destroy chicken, well, coyotes, I think he said, destroy chicken for no reason, not hungry, just like, why not? So I'm struggling a little bit with this one because based upon what I'm reading, there's mental health issues. Maybe those mental health issues were drug induced. If that is, you got to stop using drugs. So if you all want, I will follow this agreement. State, I know you are asking me to follow this agreement. Do you all want to discuss some more or?
I can discuss with Efron some more, but I do want the court to know.
Yes.
Your impressions are not lost on me. There are things that I did.
Okay.
Not saying that I'm going against you, but.
No.
What we've talked about as well, but we can talk about it.
Oh, and let me just tell you, go against me. I'm fine with that because I want to hear everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, because I'm trying to
I can go
make a decision that I think is appropriate.
Yes.
So if you feel like this is appropriate
friends.
and you both feel like this is appropriate, then I'll go along with it. I just have certain questions. So if y'all want to, what I can do, we're getting close to 5 and the deputies need to take him back. So if y'all want, I can have this recalled tomorrow and the plea will still be here.
That's fine.
Right, we can't request them to already pass the.
Okay. Well, we can have him by Zoom, right?
Or by tomorrow, late morning or afternoon? I mean, I may be here.
All right. Yeah, let's see.
Okay.
We'll say tomorrow, maybe by Zoom, if
Okay.
he can't be requested. I think it's better to do that than to rush judgment.
Yes, in,
All right, we'll recall tomorrow. And Ms. Efron, if you want his mother maybe by Zoom to give everybody some more insights into this, that would be great. All right. Thank you. We'll see y'all tomorrow.
While Mr. Zach faced charges for his reckless actions, now we have Ms. Hernandez, who violated her probation. It's outrageous that some offenders keep pushing boundaries and expect leniency. Will she ever learn from this?
All right, we are back on the record and cause number 2023 CR 3442, State versus Robin Hernandez. Can I have parties re-announce, please, for the state?
This is Pauline Portillo for Ms. Robin Huerta Hernandez.
All right, and you're Miss Hernandez. All right, so you had entered a plea of true to violation of condition number 4. The court explained to you what the implications of the plea of true, and I gave you time to confer with your counsel. So do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4? Do you understand by pleading true to that violation, the court could find it true, grant the motion, find you guilty, and sentence you up to 10 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine? Knowing that, do you still wish to plead true to violation of condition number 4? Court will find violation of condition number 4 true. And is there a proposed agreement?
Judge, so there's not really an agreement. Each side's asking for something different. As far as the state and what the state is asking for, we are asking that you deny the motion. However, we're asking for you to alter and amend her condition. We'll continue her on deferred, but alter and amend her conditions for a 1-year extension and order her to go to safety due to the struggles that she has had with reporting and failing to submit to her doings.
All right, defense, what are you requesting?
Judge, we're asking for the extension of the 1 year as well, but instead of safety, we're asking for some form of supportive outpatient treatment. Since Ms. Huerta Hernandez was released, she's been doing almost daily NA meetings online. She's been checking in with Ms. Lanier, her pretrial supervision officer, which I have an email from her in Defendant's Exhibit 1 that she's been in full compliance, no violations on her GPS.
Any
I
objection
have a
to?
chance to review it. I have no objection.
All right, I'll review that.
And the MTR alleges drug use in February, but there have been no positive tests since then. I do intend to call Mr. Mike Hernandez, her fiance, and Ms. Hernandez herself to explain the non-reporting. I urge the court, if they're between making a decision between safety and what I'm asking for, which is a supportive outpatient program, that they send Ms. Huerta Hernandez for drug testing. I do believe she's going to come up negative. And I do believe that she I'm gonna put on some evidence.
So why hasn't she been reporting?
Judge, it seems like around the time that she stopped reporting in March, she was dealing with some homelessness. And she recently connected with her fiance, and she's now living with him, which was not a circumstance back when she stopped reporting. He's been keeping her on track, helping her to get clean, helping her to look for employment. She has been a victim of abusive relationships in the past, which have caused complete destruction for her. She's lost custody of her children. It's caused drug use. It's led to a diagnosis of bipolar disorder and depression. And so at this point, I think she is in the best position with the support of her fiance, with the support of her fiance's mother, who have been waiting here all day for her. And I think she's just right on track, Your Honor, to not relapse again. She's been doing everything she's supposed to do. She also has some medical disorders that I think are gonna cause a problem for her if she had to go back into detention. She has a little eye infection if the court could take notice of. She has a cut eye that I think she needs to get treated pretty soon, and she has asthma that she said was very difficult for her when she was in SATIF. And Your Honor, I think just the circumstances for her right now are gonna be optimal for her to succeed and not relapse. She has no criminal history besides this case. So at this point, I'm asking you, add conditions, weekly UAs, random UAs, zero tolerance, can keep her on GPS. She would like to look for work as a housekeeper at this point to help contribute to the household and get some visits back in. She has ordered supervised visits through Guardian House right now with her 16-year-old. So she really just wants to get her life back together and get back on track.
I'm sorry, what did you say about her and a 16-year-old?
She's supervised visits at Guardian House right now. They cost quite a bit of money though, so she will have to work to try to get those visits in. But that's my understanding from what she tells me is going on with that minor child. She does have older children as well. They're adults. They were here at the last setting, but as far as just the minor, she really has to rebuild that back up because her past relationships have really caused havoc in her life.
Okay.
And have led to these behaviors.
And state.
Judge, I am in agreement. This is her first MTR. She doesn't have any additional criminal history other than this. However, she has had some issues reporting, and I just think she needs a more structured environment to really help her if she's really serious about getting clean. She did complete SATIF, but did struggle in aftercare, and then just kind of falls off the grid, absconded from the jurisdiction of the court. And there haven't been any positives because she hasn't submitted to UA. And so that's why I'm asking for what I'm asking.
And Judge, I meant to tender Defendant's Exhibit 2 also, which is the verification that she's been attending the NA meeting, mission and published to the court.
Yes. If you drug tested today, what are the results going to be?
I get it.
All right, you're going to go do a drug test today. Bashan, she's going to go do a drug test with felony drug court. So if you could have her go, and I'm going to send you some information of who to contact, and they're going to want a photo ID. So if someone can, do you have a photo ID?
I don't, Your Honor.
Oh, they can take a photo, somebody take a picture of her and give it to them. Just send it. All right, we're going to come back with this. And she's in custody because she's late, correct? And you're on GPS and you're late. Why were you late?
There was a long line outside, Your Honor. To get in on the courthouse, I was
All right,
here.
so Deputy, what we'll do is we're going to release her so she can go and do her UA. All right?
Judge, will she be brought back here today? So should I just go ahead and
Oh,
wait?
no. Yes, wait. She's going to go straight over there and she's going to come straight back. Her fiance is here. I'm sure he can drive her.
Yeah, sounds good. Oh, I'm sorry, but her counsel, I should wait, right?
Yes.
For her to come back. Okay.
Unlike Miss in Hernandez's case, Ms. Samantha here is charged with possession of drugs.
Court is calling 2024 CR 010688 State versus Samantha Ladone. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state defense?
Brent Hardy for the defendant.
And are you Miss Ladone?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Your Honor.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Ladone, did you review the application for deferred adjudication with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
No, Your Honor, waiving count 2.
Any objection?
No objection, Judge.
Did you review the court admonishments and admonitions with your attorney?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand you're charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4,200 grams as a second-degree felony? Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years and up to $10,000 fine.
Yes, ma'am.
If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you, and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call, and the right to remain silent. Did you understand?
Yes.
Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights? Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case? Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to $10,000 fine? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I do, Judge.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Ladone, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter the plea?
No, ma'am.
Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes, ma'am.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes, ma'am.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, the state is proceeding on count 1. State recommends deferred adjudication. There's to be restitution to Stephen, Stephen, Dingler, Dingler, in the amount of $878.88. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense, is that the plea?
It is, Judge.
State, is that the plea?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand? Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Your Honor.
Outside the agreement, the state is requesting that your community supervision be for a term of 6 years and there be TAP evaluation. Did you understand those were recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations? Then to count 1, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State, any evidence?
Contained in Exhibit 1 and attachments, Your Honor.
No objection.
State, you may be excused. Did you review the waiving and consent to stipulations with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in, the right to remain silent? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports? But most importantly, there'll be no live testimony. Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence states exhibits 1 and attachments, and the court will review the same. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there's sufficient evidence to find you guilty. The court will defer finding of guilt as you applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Your Honor.
Anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Do you have any children?
Yes, ma'am.
What are their ages?
10 and 10.
And who do they live with?
They got taken away.
All right. Have your rights been terminated? All right. Who is Giovanna Isaac Hernandez to you? If you were released today, where would you be staying? Are there any children in that home? When's the last time you had employment?
Before I went to prison.
All right. And when was that?
I went to prison in 2021.
All right. And have you already served your prison sentence?
Still on parole right now.
Have you had parole hearing?
Yes, I have
And what was the result of the parole hearing?
to take care of this case first, and then they were gonna decide what they wanted to do.
And do you know Stephen Digler? Have you ever had any mental health issues? So why did you end up losing custody of your children?
Baby's dad used to beat me up really bad, but I never went and made complaints about it. I just let it happen.
All right, no, it takes more than that. I've done Child Protective Services cases. They don't just terminate your rights because you're in an abusive relationship.
I also did drugs and all that.
All right, so let's backtrack and take some steps back. Even if he was doing drugs, they would not necessarily terminate your parental rights. Now, they will terminate your parental rights if they tell you to do parenting classes and you don't do them. They will terminate your rights if you're with somebody who's being abusive and who's a drug user and they say, hey, If this person does not become clean and sober and stop with his abusive behavior, we're going to terminate your rights because you continue to live with him. So if you were to continue to live with that person, then yeah, they'll terminate your rights for that. But they're not going to terminate your rights if you're in an abusive relationship and that's the only thing.
Well, I went to state jail and they terminated him also because I was locked up for more than 6 months.
And what were you in the state jail for?
For fraud.
And what were you in prison for? All right. And the fraud with the prison sentence, I'm assuming that's not the state jail facility because you're saying
No,
prison.
those are two different times. Well, one was in 2016 and the other one was in 2021.
And are you looking at state jail felony time or prison time?
Prison.
All right. Because usually state jail, they do not parole you. You have to do that time day for day. All right. Is there anything else I need to know about you? All right, Miss Abrams, this is what we're going to do. 7 years deferred adjudication, regular reporting by Zoom or in person, regular random UAs. I'm going to want to tap in custody, follow tap recommendations. How often were you using meth? It was in your Louis Vuitton bag. That's what it says in the police report.
It was not mine, ma'am. It was hers and she proved on me. Like, they didn't even find in my possession. I didn't have a bag on me that day.
No, the police report, unless I'm reading incorrectly.
I didn't even have a purse that day.
Wait, we're going to say, yeah, they stopped you in this vehicle and they said that that was yours.
Yeah, she told them that it was mine.
Do you want a jury trial? Okay, so Miss Abrams, it's going to be a TAP evaluation in custody, follow recommendations. And instead of regular and random UAs, I'm going to want the UA hotline for her. Proof of employment within 45 days of release. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. Field visits 1 time per month until further notice. She is not to reside with minors. There's to be no unsupervised contact with minors. There's to be no contact with Giovanna Isaac Hernandez. How far did you go in school?
Went to 11th grade.
All right. So when you said you worked prior to being taken into custody, what type of work did you do?
My grandfather's provider.
Oh, that's not going to happen. What's your grandfather's name?
Rudy
Rudy what?
Ladon.
All right. There's to be no contact and restitution to Stephen Dingler in the amount of $878.88. There's to be no in-person contact with Rudy Ladon. There's to be no unsupervised contact with vulnerable persons. There's to be 200 hours of community service restitution. That will be waived if you obtain your GED or obtain some sort of higher level education or in some sort of trade school. Otherwise, you're going to have to do the 200 hours of community service restitution. Probation, is there anything else she needs? Is there anything else you need from the court to be successful?
But I can't have no contact with my grandfather,
Oh, you can talk to him on the phone, but there's to be no in-person contact.
even if he just comes every now and then, like he comes every now and then from the valley and he's sick right now.
No. Is there anything else? All right. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes.
Because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waive your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand? All right, we can go off the record. In this court, to be successful, communication is key. You need to make sure that you're in contact with your probation officer. If there's an issue, you can let the court know. And the reason why I'm not allowing you to have in-person contact with your grandfather right now is because you're not in the right state of or right frame of mind right now. You have drug issues, I believe. You have been in and out of prison for the fraud. And now we have this drug case and it's a lot of drugs. Okay. And probation also do a gang evaluation. All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge. May I be excused?
Yes. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
How are your chickens doing?
Well, they're kind of dead.
Oh, you know what? I ran into somebody who told me, actually it was Lucy Adami Clark, the Bear County clerk.
Uh-huh.
And she told me that her chickens were taken down. And she's like, they didn't leave the feathers or anything. I said, it may be the raccoons.
No, raccoons slaughter. They leave dead chickens everywhere.
Oh my
It's
gosh.
Foxes. The coons will kill them just for the sake of killing them. They even if they're not going to eat them, they'll.
Oh, that's just wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Do you think we have a class for them to help them?
Coons are bastards. I really don't like them.
Okay.
But foxes are the ones, you can see a trail of feathers from the coop. I mean, a fox will go in and take one chicken and drag it on. You know, I found a chicken that was on the roost. It was literally laying an egg
Mhm.
and its head was gone.
That's an.
Oh my
A
gosh.
coon had reached up and pulled its head off. Seriously.
Our chicken used to get taken, the head was an owl that was perched up,
No kidding.
and the owl just, all they'll take is the head.
Really?
Okay, see, I'm just thinking, it was like the movie Chicken Run. The cartoon Chicken Run, where all you have to worry about is the person putting you in a pie.
This time, Judge Boyd is handling another case involving Ms. Cruz and possession of a controlled substance. It's crazy how some choose self-destruction, making it almost impossible to correct their path.
Court is calling 2024 CR 011865, State of Texas versus Jalen Rianne Cruz Sotomayor.
Janelyn, Rand Kusama,
Janelyn.
Janelyn.
All right, Janelyn Sotomayor. Could I have parties announced for the record? State.
Megan Galloway for the state.
Will Brooks for Miss Sotomayor, Judge.
And are you Miss Sotomayor?
Somewhere, yes.
All right. I'm sorry. My Louisiana accent is just all over the place today. Counsel, have you received all discovery? Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Going to show you the application for deferred adjudication. Did you review that with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it?
Yes.
All right. Did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it? Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, we do, Judge.
State, are you proceeding on the indictment as presented?
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the court admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it? Did you sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Did you understand you're charged with possession of a controlled substance, penalty group 1, 4 to 200 grams? That's a second-degree felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 2 to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand?
Yes.
You have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state will call in, the right to remain silent. Did you understand?
Yes.
By entering this plea, you're giving up those rights. Did you understand? And did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes.
All right. Did you understand if the court were to grant your application for deferred adjudication, if for any reason your deferred adjudication were revoked, the court could find you guilty and sentence you up to 20 years in prison and up to a $10,000 fine?
Yes.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
Yes, Your Honor.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I do, Judge.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Your Honor.
Ms. Sotomayor, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea? Anyone promised you anything other than the plea? Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented? Are you a U.S. citizen? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her right to jury trial. Did you review the plea bargain page with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
According to the plea, there's a $2,000 fine. State recommends deferred adjudication. They're taking in consideration 2024 PF 13382. Did you understand that to be the plea? Defense is at the plea?
Yes, it is, Judge.
State is at the plea.
Yes, Your Honor.
Did you review the waive of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in both places?
Yes.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes.
Counsel, are there any such motions?
No, Judge.
Outside the agreement, the state is recommending that your deferred adjudication be for a term of 5 years. There be a TAP evaluation, 125 hours of community service restitution, no contact with 1129 Austin Highway, 78209. There should be a mental health evaluation and MRT. Did you understand those are recommendations from the state and the court does not have to follow those recommendations?
Yes.
Then to the offenses charge, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence.
State offers state's exhibit number 1 in attachment.
No objections to states one attachments, Judge.
All right, state, you may be excused. Did you review the waivers with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places? Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand? Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived and consented to stipulation of testimony and stipulations. Court will accept into evidence State's Exhibits 1 and attachments and review the same. All right, after reviewing State's Exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. Court will defer finding of guilt as you've applied for deferred adjudication. Are you proceeding with sentencing?
Yes, Judge, we'll wait PSI.
All right, anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Your Honor, the only thing I would ask is the court consider probating the fine. She's been in custody since August, so she'll be getting back on her feet when she gets out of custody. She does have a plan. She'll be going to Haven, Judge, but the court could give her that consideration. I think it would help her be successful.
All right, how old are you?
24.
Do you have any children? Do you have any family support? Where is your family?
Some of them stay in the area, some of them move, but I don't really talk to them as much anymore.
Why not? And I'm asking these questions so I can discover what's going on with you because I have to set conditions for you. And I want to set conditions for you where you will be successful.
Well, actually, I choose not to speak on those.
Okay. So my other question is, why were you at this hotel?
It was somewhere I was residing at first before like all complaints or whatever, but it was somewhere I was residing until I moved in to this new house. I was supposed to be moving in with my sister. I don't know if they moved in or not yet though.
So you have contact with your sister? And does your sister have any children?
Not that I know of.
So are your parents still alive?
So, Judge, I can enlighten the court.
Yes.
Dad lives here.
Mhm.
Dad was military. And,
Okay.
and they moved down from Temple about 2 years ago, but she doesn't really want to burden her family with her personal problems. She was the motel itself is more of like a long-term residence place, so she was staying with a guy that was there, correct? Staying at that hotel.
With a guy? Were you staying at that hotel by yourself or with someone?
No, I was with two people. I was my uncle.
There were a couple of people in that room. The staff, from what I gathered, Judge, from the evidence, the staff was familiar with her and the family and these people that were living there. They were the ones that called the cops, Judge.
All right, so you were staying with two uncles?
Mhm.
Are those your biological uncles?
I was
Or
adopted,
just, okay.
so no, just like
So are they your adopted uncles or no?
I'd say
Well, I mean, either they are or they're not.
they are.
Okay, so you were adopted
Mhm.
and the two uncles you were staying with in the hotel are your uncles through that adoption?
Yes.
I don't know the answer to that one, Judge.
So do you think maybe this is an Esperanza issue? Because I'm concerned with the two uncles.
You know, Judge, what I do know is that we talked a little bit about decision making and sometimes going back to places where you're using drugs triggers that, and being around people that can trigger that. I didn't gather that there was any sort of trafficking situation going on, Judge. I do know that she's to have no contact with this area as a condition of the probation if the judge should choose to follow our bargain.
When's the last time you were employed?
2 years ago.
Doing what?
I was a waitress.
And how long have you been homeless?
Just recently, because I was staying with those two, and then, like, as soon as I came here, I decided just to go.
Have you ever had any mental health diagnosis or anything of that nature? Ever been to see a psychiatrist or anything of that nature? And how often were you using, and we'll just say in the past?
Every day.
And what were you using? Okay. And when you were in the hotel, was that part of what maybe caused all of this, the drug use?
No,
Okay,
not at all.
all right. And how far did you go in school?
I graduated.
All right, so what is your dream job?
I don't really have one.
I mean, if you have to work, if you're not independently wealthy, where would you like to work?
In all honesty, anywhere.
All right, so here's the thing. While you're on probation, I want you to think about what your dream job is. Because unless we're independently wealthy, we're going to have to work unless we find somebody who chooses to support us not working. And people always say, if you can earn money at your job and enjoy it, that's a great life to have. So I'm going to want you to discover what's a job you would enjoy that you can earn a living at. You understand? All right. The court will sentence you to a $2,000 fine. That will be probated. 40 years deferred adjudication. Proof of employment within 90 days. There's to be no employment as a home health care provider or with minors. No unsupervised contact with minors. There's to be no contact with 1129 Austin Highway, San Antonio, Texas, 78209. And let me see what the name of that location is. The Roadway Inn, RODEWAYINN. Regular reporting by Zoom or in person. The UA hotline. I'm going to want the following done in custody. A referral to Esperanza Court. And if we could do that in this order, referral to Esperanza Court and then felony drug court. And if we could do a MIC evaluation. And is there some place that could help her with housing? Because I'm concerned about whoever these two uncles are. Would it just be Haven?
For now.
All right, Haven for Hope. And there'll be 200 hours of community service restitution. I'll waive the 200 hours if she obtains some sort of trade school certificate or if she attains some higher level of education. Field visits 1 time per month until further notice. And take in consideration 2024 PF 13382. I don't feel as though this is an MRT issue. Does probation, do you think this is a moral recognition therapy situation? Yeah, I don't think that's the case. I think it's a homeless issue, drug issue, she's adopted issue, and then living with some 2 uncles at a hotel. I think those are the issues. All right, is there anything else she needs? All right, is there anything else you need from the court to be successful? All right, did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it? All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right, we can go off the record. In this court, to be successful, make sure that you stay in contact with probation. If you feel like you can't reach them or something else is coming up, you can always come back to court. Your attorney wants you to be successful. The state wants you to be successful. I want you to be successful. Okay? All right, good luck to you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Finally, this last case centers on Ms. Sobbs, a repeat offender with no signs of stopping, now facing charges of theft.
Court is calling 2024 CR 010075, State of Texas versus Adelia Sobbs. Can I have parties announced for the record for the state? Defense?
Joanne Agel.
And are you Miss Sobbs?
Yes.
How do you pronounce your last name?
Sabs.
Sabbs, okay. Counsel, you received all discovery. Did you review it with your client?
Yes, Judge.
Court will find that the state is in compliance with discovery. Ms. Sabbs, did you review the true bill of indictment with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
Counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Your Honor, just, sorry to interrupt.
I'm sorry.
We're gonna orderly amend the indictment.
Okay,
In the portion it states, namely, it doesn't put the name of the victim. And we're motioning the court to enter HEB.
I'm sorry,
HEB.
Okay,
We have no objection, Judge.
all right. All right, you understand, Ms. Sabbs, that that is a substantive change to the indictment? All right, and your attorney does have up to 10 days to review the changes that the state has made. Do you wish to proceed?
Yes.
All right. All right, then you reviewed count one with the addition of the complainant as HEB?
Yes.
All right, counsel, do you waive the reading of the indictment?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Saps, did you review the document entitled Court Admonishments with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes.
Did you understand you're charged with theft of property, $2,500 with two or more convictions for purposes of enhancement? That's a state jail felony. Range of punishment is anywhere from 180 days up to 2 years in the state jail facility and up to a $10,000 fine. Did you understand? If you have a plea bargain agreement with the state, the court does not have to follow your plea. If for any reason the court does not follow your plea and gives you more than you bargained for, the fact that you entered a plea will not be used against you and you will be allowed to withdraw your plea. Did you understand? Did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call in the right to remain silent?
Yes.
You need to speak up.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Did you understand by entering this plea, you were giving up those rights?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you intend to give up those rights and enter into a plea in this case?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, has your client been able to provide you with any defenses?
She has, Judge.
Do you believe she has a rational as well as a factual understanding of the charges against her?
I do.
Do you believe she's currently competent and was legally sane at the time of the offense?
Yes, Judge.
Ms. Saps, has anyone threatened you, coerced you, or placed you in fear to get you to enter this plea?
I have a question.
Yes.
When you said that if I was in my right mind, when that happened, is that what you're saying?
I'm asking, what I asked your attorney is whether or not you were competent. And competency has to do with the state of your mind today.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So your attorney has told me that you were competent.
Yes.
Now, sanity has to do with your mental state at the time of the offense. And your attorney has told me that she believes you were sane at the time of the offense. So my question for you is this. Has anyone threatened you to get you to enter this plea?
No.
Has anyone promised you anything other than what you've agreed to?
No.
Are you satisfied with the way you've been represented?
Yes.
Are you a U.S. citizen?
Yes.
Court will find that defendant has knowingly and voluntarily waived her rights to jury trial. The plea bargain page, did you review that with your attorney?
Yes.
According to the plea, punishment is to be assessed at 180 days in the Bexar County Jail under 1244, and there are no applications for probation or community supervision or deferred adjudication. Did you understand that to be the plea?
Yes, ma'am.
Defense is at the plea?
It is, Judge.
State is at the plea.
It is, Your Honor.
Did you review the waiver of appeal paragraph with your attorney? Did you understand it and
Yes.
sign it
Yes, ma'am.
in both places?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand by signing that you're waiving your right to appeal? The only items that can be appealed are written pretrial motions that have been filed, heard, and ruled upon by the court. Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
Counsel, have there been any such motions?
No, Judge.
Then to the offense as charged, how do you plead? Guilty, not guilty, or no contest? State any evidence.
No objection, Judge.
All right, state you may be excused. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it and sign it in all the appropriate places?
Yes, ma'am.
Again, did you understand you have a right to jury trial, a right for you or your attorney to cross-examine and confront any witnesses the state would call it, and the right to remain silent?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you understand that today the state will be presenting evidence in the form of witnesses' statements and police reports, but most importantly, there'll be no live testimony? Did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, if we could go off the record for a moment, could you mute us, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you. They keep telling me I need the glasses with the lines on them. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna do it. All right, after reviewing states exhibits 1 and attachments, the court will find there is sufficient evidence to find you guilty. And the court is accepting that into evidence, states exhibits 1 and attachments. Is there anything you wish to say on behalf of your client?
Yes, Judge.
All right, the court will follow your agreement. The court will find you guilty, sentence you to 180 days in the Bear County Jail under 1244, and give you credit for any time served. Did you review the document entitled Trial Court Certification of Defendant's Rights to Appeal with your attorney? Did you understand it?
Yes.
All right, because this is a plea bargain agreement, because I followed your plea bargain agreement, and because you waived your right to appeal, you do not have the court's permission to appeal. Because this is a felony conviction, you're not allowed to own or possess any weapons or ammunition. If you have a question over what a weapon or ammunition is, you'll need to speak to an attorney. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, we can go off the record. If there's some mental health issues going on, they have free places for you. If you can't find a free place, you can come back here. I will help you navigate the system so that you can get help. You understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, good luck to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's pretty much what I got for you guys on this one. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.